Hello everyone, welcome to another video of Alpha PTE. I'm Fatima from Alpha PTE, and today I'm here to discuss a very important question of the PTE exam, which is repeat sentences. So if you all know what is PTE, you should know what is repeat sentence. So repeat sentence is the second question of the speaking module and one of the most important and a very, very high scoring question of the entire PTE exam, not just the speaking module of the entire PTE exam. Okay. So if you know, the speaking module has fixed number of questions. Okay, there are five different types of questions, and the sequence is also fixed. The first one is read aloud, second one is repeat sentence, third one is read describe image, fourth one is retell lecture, and the fifth one is answer short questions. So repeat sentence is the highest scoring question of all of them. The number of questions can vary from 8 to 12. Mostly it will be around 8 to 10 repeat sentences in your exam. The length is also not fixed. It can be a short sentence with around 7 words or a long sentence with around 17 words. Okay. It give marks in two modules, speaking as well as listening. Okay. So it's extremely important, not just for your speaking module, but also for your listening module. Now let's discuss repeat sentence in detail. And for that, I'll take you on Alpha PTE's website. So when you go to alfapte.com, to know details about a particular question, you can go to that particular question and prepare. And if you have no idea, you can watch the strategy videos. So you can go here and watch the strategy videos for each and every question type. Here you will know the strategy for each and every question type. If you don't know about the marking, this here will show you the approximate marking breakdown, how many questions you have, how many questions you will have in your exam, how many marks you will get from that particular question, and where the marks will divide. So can you see, repeat sentence is one of the highest scoring question with a lot of marks, guys. You can also go to our FAQs and learn about the particular question and get all the information that you need about that particular question, the strategy, the question type, and everything else. So like I said, it's one of the most scoring and challenging question of the PTE exam. It will test your speaking as well as your listening skill, and you will have partial marking. Partial marking means it's not a right or wrong question. It's not a yes or no question wherein, they have MCQs and you have one option, you select the right answer, you get the full marks. It's not like that. It has partial marking. Your marks will be on the basis of the amount of content you say with the fluency and your pronunciation. Okay. What do you have to do in repeat sentences? So basically, you listen to an audio and you have to repeat that audio as soon as you see the recording button. Remember, there is no more beep sound in this question. So if you are waiting for that beep sound, that is not going to come. Okay. Your marks are going to be given in listening and speaking module, and you will have around 15 seconds to answer that particular question. Okay. So the audio will start automatically. And after the audio finishes, keep looking at the screen. And when they say recording, start speaking immediately. Okay. Finish speaking before the audio bar, the progress bar reaches the end. And while it shows completed, that means the audio has been recorded. You cannot replay the audio and you will not be able to hear your answer. Okay. You will be scored on the correct word sequences that you produce for this item. So try to get the best possible outcome for this particular question type. All right. Make sure you don't make any mistakes. Before going to more details, I would like to take you to the official PTE website and see what, according to them, is expected out of you. And then I'm going to talk about our experiments and what we have realized from our experiments. So according to the official PTE website, They say this sentence is scored on the basis of three things: content, if your response includes all the words, and then content is scored by counting the number of correct word sequences in your response. Having almost nothing from the prompt in your response will negatively affect your score. That means you'll not get your score. Oral fluency is your response smooth and effortless, and if you're taking a lot of pauses, you lose marks there. Okay. Pronunciation. And one more thing. See, if you see there, the best responses are spoken at a constant and natural rate of speech with appropriate phrasing. Hesitations, repetitions, and false starts will negatively affect your score. So, a lot of people do tell me, can I repeat the same thing again and again? Yes, you can, although, but for people who are aiming for 8 and above, I normally say try to read or repeat the sentence one time very clearly and then move on, because sometimes repeating again and again might cost you marks, because you will not have so much time in your exam to keep repeating the sentence, because you'll only have around 10 to 15 seconds as your response time, and that much time is not enough to repeat the complete sentence twice. Okay. What is pronunciation? Does your response demonstrate your ability to produce speech sounds in similar way to most regular speakers of the language? That means, are you able to pronounce the words clearly enough for the computer to pick them, or are you mispronouncing the words and losing marks in pronunciation as well as content? Okay. Then you have partial credit. Like I said, no credit is given for no response, and it affects scoring of listening and speaking. And listening on the basis of content, speaking on the basis of oral fluency and pronunciation. No marks are given from this question to writing or reading. Now, score guide. Let's take a look at the score guide. What do you see here when they say about the scoring? In repeat sentence, partial credit, and the marks are on the basis of content, replacements, omissions, and insertions. Okay, you lose marks for hesitations, unfilled pauses, okay, ignoring the content, and all that. Now, how do you get full marks? Zero if you don't have anything in your repeat sentence, 1 mark if you repeat less than 50% of the words in the correct sequence. We'll talk about this after this. 2 marks, at least 50% of the words in the response in the correct sequence. 3, all words are repeated in the correct sequence. If you see the official PTE guideline, very clearly they said in the correct sequence, in the correct sequence, in the correct sequence for each and everything. But we have done a lot of experiments, and while we were experimenting with this question, we realized that sometimes if we change the sequence, I'm not saying completely shuffle and jumble, but if we put one or two word in the which are not in the sequence, like for example, they said, I am going to visit the doctors on Mondays and Fridays, and I say on Fridays and Mondays, I will still be able to score 90. We've done that quite a few times, but the most important thing is to be clear with the sequence. Another important detail that we realize in repeat sentences, the first half is very important. Try not to make any mistake with the first half of the sentence. For example, the doctor's office is going to be closed on the weekends. The doctor's office is going to be closed on the weekend. 11 words. But what is more important? The doctor's office will be closed. Okay? The first half. The first half is always more important than the second half. So when I say don't worry about the sequence, that is for you to, oh, I don't know the sequence. Maybe I'm not going to say anything. No, instead of that, just say whatever you remember, because you get marks per word. In that way, each word will uh, be, the marks will be in points. Like 0.25 or 0.5, 0.25, 0.5, like that. So instead of getting stressed and not saying anything, don't worry about the sequence and repeat. Official guide says sequence is important, but I would say don't worry about it so much. We have tried it a lot of times. A little bit of here and there doesn't make much of a difference. You can still get 90 with that. But having said that, don't ignore it totally, because if it's there in the official PTE guide, they can make the changes to the software anytime. But at the moment, we do keep taking exams. We say it's okay. Try to keep your first half as perfect as possible. Don't worry about the rest. For people who are aiming for 79 and above, you know there are three types of repeat sentences: short, medium, and long. Short repeat sentences are around 7 to 10 words in a sentence. Okay, do them completely, and easy. They're very easy. So try to repeat short length sentences completely. Medium sentences around 11 to 13 words or 14 words, 13, 14 words. Don't make a mistake with that. Long sentences are around 15 to 18 words. Even if you repeat the first half, that's more than enough. Normally, we've given a lot of exam. We still give a lot of exams. In your exam, you will, if you have, 8 sentences, so you will have 3 short, 3 medium, and 2 long. If you have 10 sentences, you'll have 4 short, 4 medium, and 2 long. Most of the time, there are only 2 long sentences. Very rarely, they'll give you 3 long sentences. Still, try to repeat the first half well in the long sentences and don't worry about the second half. But make sure you don't make mistakes in the short and medium sentences if you are aiming for 79 and above. For 65 and above, try to do the same thing so that you gather as many marks as possible, but you can still make a few errors here and there, but try not to make any mistake with the short sentences. For people who are aiming for 50 and above, try to repeat whatever you hear and then add an extra line, okay, after every repeat sentence. I'm clicking next, thank you so much, or whatever line is convenient for you, so that you get marks on the basis of content, on the basis of whatever words you repeat. And then for fluency and pronunciation, put that extra line. Okay, even for 7 in each, if you missed a sentence and you just remember a few words, even for 8, you missed a sentence and you just remember a few words, just repeat those few words, add that extra line, and click next. Okay, moving on to the tips and tricks that can help you achieve your score in repeat sentences. And then we are going to do a few repeat sentences and discuss. Copy the stress and intonation patterns of your repeat sentence. For example, I'm going to attend the briefing for the students. If they're saying like that, try to copy the stress. I'm going to attend the briefing for the students. Copy the stress. That is going to make your repeat sentence clear and going to give you a good score. Okay, next, listen to the phrase of the sentence as it is read aloud. Okay, so make sure you hear carefully without getting distracted. All right, then you will have 15, about 10 to 15 seconds to finish repeating the sentence. Try to wrap up 3 seconds before the audio finishes and click next. Okay, it's just a trick that we realize is better when it comes to the scoring. Follow the right sequence, but like I said, it's okay if you make a mistake in the sequence. Don't stress about it. We still were able to get a good score by make adding words. Again, one more thing, you don't have any penalty for adding extra words in repeat sentences. So if you put extra words there, don't worry about it. Avoid the mixing of singular and plural things like tree and trees and ball and balls. All right, so you don't get any marks in your content there. Try not to skip words, because if you skip words, you lose marks for those particular words in listening module. So you end up making mistakes. And even if you don't hear the complete sentence, never skip it. Never. That's a big no no. Never skip any repeat sentence or any question for that matter. Whatever random word you hear, say those words and add your fixed sentence and then click next. Okay, try not to stop halfway and take a pause in your repeat sentence. You may use fillers like then you just get nervous and anxious and then you lose marks. Always, very important thing, always start speaking as soon as you see that recording button on your screen, because if the computer notices a pause for more than 2 to 3 seconds, you end up losing marks. Okay, utilize the right pitch, like I said, and focus on repeating the words and sentence from as clearly as possible. You can take notes, you can take the initials, or you can take notes, but I prefer normally closing my eyes and listening and repeating, but you can take initials if that helps. But whatever you do, first use that in your mock tests, practice exams. Don't directly try a new strategy. Never try a new strategy in your exam unless you have perfected it. All right. Try to mimic the tone of the speaker. That gives you a better score. All right. And work on your oral clarity. So, those are the tips and tricks for repeat sentences. Let's start taking doing a few repeat sentences, and then we'll understand it better. Let's start solving them. Okay, so let's see.
The study of archaeology requires extensive international fieldwork.
The study of archaeology requires extensive international fieldwork. And then you move on. Because it was fieldwork, although I said feedwork, I can either repeat fieldwork again and I move on, or I can just click next. And always look at, I will just show you for the
Be
example.
allowed to read
so
any
the
books without the reading
sentence is
list.
come there. Keep looking at this. When it shows recording, then you start speaking. Okay, because sometimes it will record, it will just show recording will start soon. This is
As the project progresses, a written document will become very useful.
As the project progresses, a written document will become very useful. You move on. All right, you click next. As the project progresses, a written document will become very useful. All right, so let's try one more time.
We weren't able to agree on the appropriate independent variables.
We weren't able to agree on the independent appropriate variables. Now, this is what I'm talking about. It is appropriate independent variables, but I switched it to independent appropriate variables. This much of switch is okay. The sequence, like I always, like previously when I was discussing about tips and tricks, when you switch, this much switch is all right. Don't worry about it. It will still be fine. And then you move on. Okay. Let's try one more and test another thing.
By logging in, you agree to all terms and conditions regarding your enrollment.
By logging in, you agree to all terms and conditions regarding your enrollment. Just this one, trying to mimic the way the speaker was repeating the sentence. This will get you a very nice score in your repeat sentences because it makes your sentence clearer. All right. Let's try the last one.
Good weather is the main ingredient of an enjoyable holiday.
Good weather is the main ingredient of an enjoyable holiday. make sure when you are repeating your sentence, you are performing like, you're giving a performance so that your words are clear and you get the best score possible. All right, so that's about today's video, guys. If you have any more doubts, any more queries, make sure you contact us, join our Telegram group. Try to finish all the repeat sentences which are given on Alpha PT's website, guys. They are really, really important. Try to practice in bulk. Start by practicing around 50 repeat sentences at a time, then go up to 100 at a single stretch. Make sure if you don't have time, listen to the audios that we upload on the prediction files and keep repeating them. It will definitely improve your score. It will take a bit of time, but it will definitely do wonders. Okay, so if you like our videos, please do not hesitate to like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any more doubts and queries about anything else, let us know. And hopefully, I'll see you again in another video. Until then, take care. Bye.